Before starting the teaching process, a few safety issues must be addressed. Taking the following actions can lessen the potential for accidents. Ensure that no other person is in the landing area when someone is about to put. Inform athletes that the shot must not be thrown back and forth between them. Use the shot only for the purpose it is intended. Keep the throwing circle clear of dust, leaves and general debris. Keep a towel close by to wipe the shot in wet conditions. At the elite level, there are currently two different techniques adopted by throwers. The first involves a backward glide across the circle before a final rotating delivery of the shot. This is called the O'Brien shift, named after its inventor and top shot putter Parry O'Brien. It is also often referred to as the glide. The second technique, becoming more common in recent years, is the rotational method, using a movement across the circle very similar to the discus throw. Despite the large differences in motion across the circle, the final delivery positions and actions are very similar. In this resource, we will present a teaching progression which leads up to the use of the O'Brien shift. The rotational method will not be covered, as it is generally considered too complex for school-level competition. However, almost all of the skills developed will be transferable if an athlete or their coach decides to utilise the rotational method. The shot put, like the discus and javelin, is a projectile event. The main factors affecting performance are release height, release velocity and release angle. Due to a better release height, taller athletes are at a slight advantage over shorter athletes. Given the shape and weight of the shot, wind resistance plays almost no role in performance. Therefore, all technical aims of the shot are directed towards maximising release velocity and optimising the release angle. The shot is a relatively heavy implement, so in order to maximise the release velocity, the thrower must learn to generate force with the whole body, allowing the arm and shoulder simply to apply the finishing touches to the shot. This is the main challenge facing the coach or teacher, as almost all young athletes will attempt to throw the shot using mainly arm and shoulder strength. A coach may start by simply asking young athletes to compare the size of the muscle in their arm and shoulder against those of the legs, hip and torso. It will be obvious that the vastly greater muscle mass of the latter will provide a much greater source of power. The task is then to learn how to use this strength for putting the shot. Using the progression of skills outlined in the coaching section, the coach will teach the young athlete how to do this. Standing throw progressions will teach the athlete to use rotational power as well as the extension of the hips and legs. The glide and progressions of the glide will teach the athlete that velocity can be developed in the shot even before the final delivery is made. The change in velocity of any object is determined by the impulse applied to it. Impulse is calculated by multiplying force by time. In the shot put scenario, to maximise the velocity of the shot at release, the impulse applied must be maximised. To do this, a high force should be applied for as long as possible. Good technique and good flexibility, particularly in the torso, allows for this longer force application. In most of the technique progressions, the time of force application is lengthened with each more advanced putting action. The optimum release angle for the shot put is around 35 to 40 degrees, although the height of the thrower and the release velocity will affect this. It is most common in young athletes to see puts made at a very low angle, causing a loss of distance. Good putting motion, and in particular, the action of the non-throwing arm rotating and driving upward are critical in keeping the release angle in the range that will produce a good result. The shot putter must develop speed, power and athleticism throughout the whole body. On top of event-specific skill and strength training, they will perform speed, power and plyometric drills in similar fashion to a jumper or sprinter. The shot is not thrown, It is pushed forwards and upwards from the shoulders. The pushing action, called a put, is fundamental to the teaching process, and it will rely heavily on the way the shot is held. Therefore, the first stage of the teaching process is to learn how to hold the shot. The correct grip is essential, as it will affect the distance the athlete is able to achieve. An incorrect grip can cause injury, as the shot may force against one or more fingers, and this will affect the confidence of the athlete as well as reduce the throwing distance. The shot is placed at the base of the first 3 fingers, with the little finger and thumb creating a cup. The 3 fingers should be evenly spread behind the shot. The hand should be cocked back from the wrist so that the shot rests easily into position. The shot should not be held in the palm of the hand, as this could lead to a throwing action rather than a put. When teaching younger students, the coach may use cricket balls or tennis balls until they grasp the basic technique. The shot is then placed against the neck, slightly under the chin where the collarbone meets the base of the neck. The elbow should always be held high. Young athletes should be completely comfortable with the grip and holding method before they move on to putting drills. The standing throw, or standing put, is of crucial importance to the emerging shot putter. To assume the starting position for a standing throw, the athlete stands with feet 60 to 90 centimetres apart. The right foot is approximately 45 degrees to the direction of the put, and the toes of the left foot are in line with the heel of the right foot. The shot is held against the neck with the elbow held high. Both knees should be bent. The athlete rocks onto the ball of their right foot. The body weight should be centred over the right foot, with very little weight being placed on the left foot. The chin, knee and right toes should be in vertical alignment. From this position, the putting action is initiated by the right leg and trunk. The right ankle is turned outward and the right hip is driven around and forward. Throughout this action, the left shoulder should be kept high. The hips are driven ahead of the shoulder, which will catch up before the final punch with the arm releasing the shot. If a young athlete is able to develop an effective standing throw, utilising whole body rotation and driving of the hips and legs, it may be sufficient for him or her to use this technique in competition. Even at the top level of international athletics, adding a glide across the circle will only add around 10% extra distance to that attained on a standing throw. Many young athletes will not be strong enough in the legs to perform a full glide across the circle. The side step is a simpler movement requiring less strength that allows the athlete to move into a standing throw position with some momentum. The athlete should stand at the rear of the circle, with the feet pointed 90 degrees to the direction of the throw. The left foot steps to the centre of the circle, and as the foot hits the ground, the athlete's weight is transferred to this leg. As this occurs, the right foot is quickly moved to the centre of the circle, with the left leg moving to the front of the circle. The athlete's weight should now be on the right leg to assume the standing throw position. The delivery of the shot begins as soon as the left foot touches down. This method may be a useful competition technique for young or novice throwers. The O'Brien shift combines a fast, low glide across the circle to achieve a powerful putting position, while at the same time creating some velocity in the body and the shot put itself. The athlete stands at the back of the circle with their feet pointing in a 180-degree angle to the putting direction. The shot is held to the neck, the body weight is on the right foot, and the shoulders are bent forward. The left leg is held in the air, but not too high. The left leg is driven towards and alongside the right knee, before being driven backwards forcefully. At the same time, the athlete hops from the right foot towards the middle of the circle, keeping low and taking care that the posture is correct. The left leg lands to block at the throwing position, and the right hip drives around, forward and up to finish with a punch of the shoulder, arm, wrist and fingers into the put. The hopping or driving action across the circle should deliver the athlete into a position similar to the standing put, but the position may be a little deeper, and momentum will have been developed during the movement across the circle.
Hi, I'm Scott Martin. In 2006 I won the Commonwealth Games gold medal for discus and the bronze medal in the shot put, and I'm currently training towards the Beijing Olympics, so hopefully you can cheer me on then. My advice to young athletes would be to have patience and persistence. Technical throws, technical events like the throws, they're so technical that you have to spend a lot of time doing technique work and learning the drills and learning the throws. So you've got to have patience and you've just got to continue to persevere through it and really enjoy it. Things that have led to my success are mainly patience, I'd say. I wasn't always the biggest kid in school, and I had to rely on technique and just working harder, and I was getting beaten for many years at a state and a senior level, and it took a long time to get up there. So patience and perseverance and just really continuing on and training hard and having fun with it. You've got to enjoy it. Diet's very important for athletics in any event, and for the throwers as well. I mean, people think we just eat cakes and drink soda all day, but you've really got to have a balanced diet, and I eat a lot, but I eat a lot of steak, I eat lots of vegetables. You just got to have a full diet, vitamins and minerals to get your recovery and to make you grow as well, so it's not all junk food. The typical training week for me is about 10 sessions. We do maybe 3 to 4 throwing sessions a week, 3 to 4 weight sessions a week, and then a couple of dynamics. So we do lots of running and sprinting, jumping, things over hurdles and mobility. And then we also do maybe one more flexibility stretching session. So it's very balanced. It's always it's based on being very athletic, not just strong and powerful. It's based on also being very athletic as well. So that's a typical week.